What it do, what it do, what it fucking do. It is your boy, Andrew Schultz, aka Mr. Goody Two Shoes, the host. And once again, we are here with the old man, the bad man, Mr. Old Man Huggy, Joseph Huggins himself. And
What's
we are live streaming on Twitch, Discord, YouTube, episode 26. Welcome, motherfucker.
yeah, 26, man. It feels good. Bear with us. I got a new mic set up. We're doing this over Discord now, trying to get better video, better audio, trying to bring y'all some better quality stuff. Appreciate y'all stopping by the Twitch, checking it out. We're a little bit day late. You know, there's things going on, moves being made, so we be staying busy. But thanks for stopping by the Twitch and checking out the podcast, y'all.
I mean, you triggered me there when you said a day late. It's like the last time I heard that, I had to go get plan B.
Well, it was me too, man. I mean, I got shit going on too. But yeah, I mean,
No, I just meant a female. She's like, yeah, I'm a day late.
oh,
I'm
okay.
like, I'm like, what? On what?
Your phone bill? What's up? Talk to me. Don't be cryptic.
I've been going to this bougie dog park in Santa Monica.
Okay.
$80 membership
What? A month?
a month, and I'm splitting custody, so I'm only there 2 weeks a month. Um, Full bar, DJ, fake fire hydrant that shoots out mist. My white privilege goes into hyperdrive when I'm there. Um, uh, just I forgot why I even brought it up. However, here we
That's
go.
just crazy, man. $80 a month for a dog membership?
I said that until the seventh girl told me that I met on the streets of Santa Monica, and
About
so
the
I got
dog park? About that
yeah.
place? Okay. Okay. So you were like, hey, I better check that shit out because all these girls are telling me to go there?
Well, except for the fact is it's only 100 yards away from my apartment, and it is bougie.
Well, I mean, there's places out here that used to be that are bougie now, dog parks that I used to go in the woods and smoke weed and shit in. So, I mean, I feel you on that.
Right, but
Like
do they
real
charge you?
bougie. No, but I mean, I get looks when I go there now. They're like, "What are you doing here?" Like, I think you think paying property tax is like your payment to get in to those dog parks, like Bob Jones and stuff like that. It's like bougie, dude, bougie. And you're like, "What? This used to be the woods. Like we used to get off-roading tickets back here, and now there's sparkling water fountains or some shit. It's wild, dude."
Yeah, no, this shit is wild. But uh, it's not like it's the only white people there. It's just it's like only white people could come up with something like this.
That makes sense. That's fair. That's
You know,
very
it
true.
it's like I'm not saying all white people die when they go in a hot air balloon. I'm saying only people who die in a hot air balloon are white people.
Okay. That's also true. I can't really disagree with that. People are like, it's so beautiful. I'm like, that looks horrifying. I'll take pictures from the ground. I'm good. But I mean, I think part of being, any type of minority is risk management and crisis aversion. I don't know, man. That seems sketchy. I don't think I'm going to go hunting bear today. You guys have fun and text me if you survive. If not, I'll speak at your funeral. That's always been yeah, avoid it as much as possible. Crisis management. Although, yeah, I don't know any white people or black people that have come up with anything remotely close to that.
What, a good joke about hot air balloons, or
Or a bougie ass dog park. I've never seen a black guy at a hot air balloon festival that he bought tickets to. He might have gotten drugged to it, but I don't know if he bought the tickets. I don't believe that.
oh yeah, he got coaxed into it for sure. Yeah,
It's a
it's
work event. It's team building.
yeah, yeah. It's like a weirder version of sex trafficking. It's like
Dragging your black friends to do stuff they don't want to do.
bro, you actually you have to do
Yeah.
this.
That's ridiculous.
No, put me on the record. We live right now. We won't cut this out on the audio. Not a single black person has died in a hot air balloon accident.
You
Not
realize
even on, not even on the Hindenburg.
I'm gonna check this out. Like seriously, I'm gonna. Yeah,
No, no, no.
I don't think
There's
there's any black people on the Hindenburg. I like the chance. Maybe a maintenance guy. Maybe like one who got like stuck there.
he accidentally walked in. He's like, oh shit.
Get into blimps, my dad said. Get into it, he said. Great
He's like,
idea.
Hindenburg. I thought this was like I'm hiding from somebody with the last name that ends in Berg.
That's ridiculous. You want to get into this? Get into this
Oh,
26er?
let's go. I always try to think like so like for episode 23, I called it the GOAT. You know, it's like we got LeBron and Jordan and then, me, my hockey number. 24 was like literally the same week as the RIP shout out Kobe Bean Bryant's death and he was number 24. Didn't have like 26. Is there any famous like 26
Le'Veon Bell, Clinton Portis.
No, I mean like legendary.
Sean Taylor, I think, in college was number 26.
Ooh, ooh.
But then he came into the league as like 36 or something, and then he switched to 21. So I mean, there's a couple 26s. There's a couple, nothing like too nowhere. Clinton Portis was definitely 26, and Clinton Portis was a beast.
Legendary. Why you got to bring up Redskins? Like, I mean, and I could say
Commanders,
Redskins.
Commanders, please.
Well, no, when they were there, I mean, Sean Taylor.
There's a lot of good 26s.
Well, we should have done a dark alert. I mean, we bring up Sean Taylor and Kobe.
True.
Yeah,
R.I.P. Big facts.
I know. I was just on a date, y'all, and yeah. Let's just move on. I was gonna bring up another dark. Oh, what I was trying to say is that I feel like that Biggie and Tupac still feel like that they're older than me. And the female I was on the date with is my age and Joseph's, and they were like 10 years younger than us when they got murked.
Yeah,
So
that is
like
crazy.
do you agree with that? Like it doesn't seem like Biggie's like a elder statesman and Tupac, but
Yeah,
it's like
yeah. I mean,
they were like children when they left this earth.
well, and that's kind of, but that's the way that we've always kind of viewed it. I mean, because they were older, so it was like to me, I was like, oh man, look at these dune buggies, and this guy's got like a auto-tuned keyboard, just constantly saying computer, and they're talking about California. This is the coolest shit ever, and. But he had a mustache. I was like, that's a full grown man. Like, and he had, look at these pads. Like, he has spiked elbow pads on. That's a full grown man. And then, yeah, now you go back and look and it's like, oh, he was like, well, how old was he when he died? He was 20.
I don't think either of them made it to the 27 club.
Yeah. So, I mean, they were like super young. So that's just like nuts to think about. And like, we're so far removed from that. Oh, that's horrible to say. But yeah, so I think we just always carry that, like, they're always going to be older than us because they were older when they passed away. So we'll just always view them that way, I guess.
Yeah, like even Jimi Hendrix, like he's in the 27 club, and I just remember you called yourself an old soul, but that was just because you were into pumpkin spice lattes.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I have an UGG blanket right now, dude. I'm telling you, it's next level. I have this. I didn't. It was a gift, a Christmas gift. And
Did you get that at the dog park with the fake fire hydrant that shoots mist, or what?
No, I mean it was a gift, but I mean, am I gonna take it to the dog park? Absolutely. On a brisk, cold fall day, I'm gonna take the UGG blanket.
Like literally, you can get away with like anything there. Like
I gotta try to fit in.
there is no fitting in other than just not paying attention to what your dog's doing when they're like sexually assaulting another dog.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, 'cause
Dogs are ruthless.
well, no,
Well, I mean, like bad dog owners at dog parks is like the absolute worst thing in the entire world, where their dogs are fighting or humping my dog Topanga. I'm like, get out of here, dude. Like, where is Becky with the okay hair? In the corner on Instagram taking horrible selfies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, because it's not that great. How good can your hair be? You can't even take care of your dog. I doubt your hair is that great.
I see what you're saying. I mean, I was just
There's
trying to
only
say.
one Becky with the good hair. Come on, dude. And Beyonce is
That,
looking for you.
oh, she found her.
Oh, I know. I mean,
Like, I mean, speaking of R.I.P., you can't find her, bro. She's like the president of El Salvador in like 3 weeks from now, who started Bitcoin like as the like the like what legal tender.
yeah.
That that dude is like he's like maybe 10 hours away from just missing.
Yeah, people. Yeah, he is missing, and that's why he's still around. Is because nobody has found him yet.
No, it's just because the people who are gonna murder him are just that good at hiding bodies. It's like Ozark.
Ozark's so good.
It's so good. I mean, it's not Succession, but it's good.
Oh, Succession. Don't even get me started.
But what I was telling her, the shorty that I was on the date with, she said, "Oh, we were talking about the 10 crack commandments." Yeah, that's right. That's what I talk about on dates. Um, because I was telling her about how I flooded the country with Juul, but I've never tried it. Juul, the vaping product,
Yeah,
and then like 10 years from now, I'm gonna end up on like 60 Minutes with my face like blacked out and my
yeah,
voice changed
yeah,
about how like yeah like I sold like $10 million worth of Juul wholesale,
yeah,
and it destroyed the children of America.
yeah.
And then I said I was gonna be like a whistleblower, not because I was like trying to stop the problem. It was like just because I would get like immunity not to go to jail.
Okay, that's fair. I
But
can
she
see
said,
you. I can see you. Yeah, I mean, we knew how dangerous it was the entire time we did it. I mean, you go in after that paycheck. You're young. You got some college bills you're trying to pay off. What else? What do they expect me to do? I can totally.
but but I just want to make it clear that I was just very very good at my job
Yeah,
and crushing it because I have to
yeah.
hype myself up too. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and then
not
I
my
got
fault. I'm like the goat of selling jewel pods. I mean, you want mango? I got mango in my trunk right now. Let's go. We want to make a
oh.
deal? You're making you're making deals on 60 Minutes. Like the ghost of somebody before. The ghost of Oprah is now on 60 Minutes.
I mean, I'm like the ghost of Christmas past. I mean, because that's the only thing I agree with Fox News is this war on Christmas is bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
No, but it was more like, yeah. I mean, it just, yeah. She was like, so you're selling it to children? And I was like, no, I was selling it to people who sold it to children.
Yeah. So
Everybody in my office was just like huffing on the jewel, like at their desks, and so I just made a promise that I would never try it. So I've never even tried it.
that's
But
fair.
but but I smoke menthols.
Yeah, so that's good. But I smoke Newport 120s, so I'm just the pinnacle of health.
Oh no, even better. I have a Newport shirt. It's just a pack of Newports. Like is the shirt on both sides,
That's
and
awesome.
some dude tried to come up and clown me. He's like, "You smoking a Newport?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "How you be smoking a Camel Light and wearing a Newport shirt?" I go, "Bro, I'm smoking a Camel menthol crush. So it starts menthol, and then you crush it, and it becomes more menthol.
Yeah, it's like the
Okay,
Thanos of menthols.
I elevated.
A new
I'm,
level.
I'm giving the shout out to Newport as the OG,
I've
but
always been impressed by people who smoke like Newports that aren't the menthols. Have you ever seen those people? You're like, what, bro? Like, where'd you get that? Like, what couch did you find that in?
I will tell you where you get it. So in Ventura, where I just moved from, your boys out in Santa Monica doing bougie things, they banned menthols. Period. Like for, it's not a law. They just did it, and but your boy had to connect where to get the menthols. You know how it is. But so I would walk into like a place, and they had the whole lineup of Newports except for the menthol ones. And I would in my last job, Newport menthols was a product that I could sell. I don't think I ever sold one carton. Just told you I sold millions of dollars worth of jewel,
Yeah.
and that was that. And but that was also a side gig. Um, But I saw, yeah, I was like, I did not even know Newport sold anything besides menthol
Oh
cigarettes.
yeah, man. That's like you're a veteran smoker. If you see somebody and they're smoking a pack of like Newport regulars, that's like their thing. Or if they, I always say like
It,
really old guys, like old country dudes, always smoke Winstons, and Winstons are like super hazy, smoky. Like I swear, it's like a brush fire every time someone lights one, and they reek. There's like
okay,
certain
okay,
people, if
but
yeah,
hold on. Winston's, I get. Smoking a non-menthol Newport?
it's next level, dude. You're a vet. That's
No, no, serial killer.
okay, that's potential. I mean, that's what I'm saying is you know what you're doing. You're like two
Especially
cigs
if you're
away.
a white guy.
I mean, I think white guys.
Actually,
I think white
actually,
guys smoke a lot of Newports, man.
well, no, actually, I just heard somebody was telling me like if they ever go bum a cigarette or need to, they don't ask the white guy because they know it's not going to be menthol.
Well, I see. I some like there was this guy that I worked with who didn't smoke menthols, and he always told people he smoked menthols so that he didn't have to give any to anybody. So they'd be like, "Oh,"
Ooh,
he'd be like, "Oh, nah, man, I only smoke, Benson Hedges 120s, or I smoke Virginia Slims." He would say like the most random shit, and people would be like, "Oh, never mind," and they go get a cig from someone else. I was like, "That's genius. That's so smart to like rather like with gum, be like, nah, man, that's like my last piece," or like, "Oh, it's." Trash gum, it tastes like trash. People are like, oh, I don't want that. It's like it's juicy fruit. You're like, juicy fruit's good, but it doesn't last long. Most people aren't going to take a stick of juicy fruit, right?
well, okay, I get asked all the time for people to bum a cigarette, but it's always like a transient, homeless, whatever the new woke term is. Um, and and so my move is I'm always smoking because I live like before I lived on the second floor in a condo complex. Now I live like in a building on the fifth floor. So I always go out the building. Um, and so I grab one and go outside. Um, this guy walks up to me and asks if he can bum a cigarette. I told this on the pod before, but it's definitely worth repeating. Uh, and I was like, nah, man, I just have the one. He's like, oh, he starts losing his mind. He's like, oh yeah, well, where did you get that one? Did you just pull it out your ass? And I was like, no, I live here. I grabbed it and walked outside. And then and this is right in front of my condo, but I'm like complex, but I'm like a little bit to the left, so I'm not in front of the gate. And there's like columns. So he starts walking and he's like muttering to himself like and then he turns around on one of the columns to come face me and he goes, I've never been knocked out. I know I look 100, but I'm 50. And then, it's, Mr. Goody, and I just couldn't help myself. And I was like, I don't know, dude. I think you're 100. You look 100, but I think you're 100. And he's like, what? What? I'm gonna tape you. And he starts like digging his pocket for like his phone.
Oh, I
And
thought you
I'm
meant
like,
like
tape.
actual
I'm like,
tape.
I'm like, tape me. I was like, there's 4 cameras on you right now, bro. Like, what are you talking about? He didn't say tape, bro. He said tase. Pulls out a taser and it starts clicking it like that. Yeah,
Amazing.
never been knocked out.
Never been knocked out because he carries a taser. If you get if you try to hit him, he's just gonna zap your ass.
But I was like, how the fuck did you get a phone to tape me? And he busts out the taser, and then I'm like, how the fuck did you get who gave you a taser?
Somebody, somebody who also bummed him a cigarette. Oh, hey, let's get into these therapy questions, man.
All right, let's kick it up. Um, yeah, some of the best parts is when we riff on it. It's
Oh
not
no,
funny.
I love it. I love it.
All right, so episode 26, talk shit or get off the pod. Here we go. We always started off. We called them therapy questions in the beginning because my actual therapist gave me the original questions, and we ran out. But these, I would say, more philosophical, but therapy too. But we just don't have a therapist on board, so you know what I'm saying.
No.
Okay, so Therapy philosophical question number one, Mr. Joseph. What defines you?
What defines me? See, and I was looking over these and I was like trying to think about it, and I was like enjoying doing work, and I was like not so I was busy, but I was like, okay, what defines me? I'd probably say, like, it sounds super cheesy, but probably like my journey, or like my struggles, like my low points, I guess. Like a lot of I think that true character is defined by how we like overcome life's obstacles, not like not the obstacles that life gives us. So like I think that what I've become is strictly a part of me, like going through difficult times or things being different and having to overcome those things. So I think that my struggles would probably be something that defines me more than anything, because that's like that's is solely, not solely, but plays a huge role in like what I am today, if you know.
Okay, so let me just like so when something traumatic happens to somebody, I think like you know how when they're like recovering from that, it's like that moment of trauma doesn't define you is like the healthy way to think about it. So how is it different?
Well, I mean,
Like
like so I think that you spend a lot of your life, like, whenever you're younger, you deal with all these difficult moments. You have to overcome these things and social anxieties and trying to like talk to people and like all that weird shit that you go through when you're younger, and you grow from those things. Like that low feeling that you have isn't, you don't want that to define you, but like you learn a lot about yourself overcoming those things. So like, you go through something bad or rough or traumatic, and how you can come out better on the other side if you like use it properly, and like have the right perspective when it comes to those things. So that's kind of what I mean. Not that like these horrible things that have happened or terrible things or struggles define me, but like those struggles are like taught me how like strong and how
they
much I
like
can
shape
persevere.
you.
Yeah, it helped shape me. Like I became a better person because of that adversity. So it's like one of those, would you change anything if you could go back? It's like, well, no, I'm comfortable with who I am and where I'm at and where I'm headed, and I don't want to roll the dice so I don't like like fart in front of somebody, embarrass myself in sixth grade, like whatever. That didn't happen, I don't think. But like you know what I'm
First
saying?
thing,
Like,
well,
but
first thing that happened to me when I moved to Santa Monica, I was in a Target and this guy farted out loud twice on me, like right in front of me, out loud
out loud on you.
twice. After he was arguing that his Snickers was $2 and not $1. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's rough, man. Welcome,
Well, I
welcome
get.
to Santa Monica.
Well, okay, so I like same kind of vibe as far as like I mean, and it's all over at least California, and I'm sure it's like a problem in a lot of big
You've
cities.
been a vibe the whole time I've known you, with your stories and the shit that happens. You got farted on by a guy who is arguing about the price of a Snickers bar twice. That's
Twice
just everything about you is a vibe, sir.
out loud, out loud.
Out
Uh,
loud.
One of the first things that ever happened to me in Target, or not in Target, in Santa Monica. But uh, I immediately because there was the same kind of vibe where I lived in Ventura, which is like nice town, but also a lot of transients. As, again, go back to that. Same with Santa Monica, very bougie, but then there's a lot of like homelessness,
No.
and the difference I concluded because I was talking to my roommate who's been living out here for a while, was in Ventura, where I lived, there was like some real hard gangs, and like the transients kind of like were put in check. So they would never do something like that. Out in Santa Monica, it's white people who pay $80 for a dog membership at a dog park and don't pay attention to their dogs when they're like humping another dog because they're drinking a goddamn like spritzer and like Instagramming. So nobody's checking them. And I was like, so my conclusion was we need a gang in Santa Monica.
that's a that's a bold statement. It's possible. I mean,
Specifically to keep these people from farting on me in the middle of a goddamn Target.
yeah, that's true. Dude, that's so rough. I'd be so pissed.
I could not believe it. I was like, wow,
It's
wow,
like
okay.
that. Yeah. Well,
I was
are
like,
you a part of the welcome train? Appreciate you, bro.
it basically, yeah, it's like, it's like a absent parent, it's like they just this yeah, I don't know. Unbelievable shit. Okay, what defines me? Um, I thought about it in a different way. I was like it'd be like, what is the one sentence? I didn't come up with anything great, but I'm gonna try to do it off the cuff. I'd say, I mean, besides white privilege, persever perseverance or grit, maybe.
But that's kind of like a falls in line with what I was saying. But yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It's like your wherewithal, like your chutzpah, your
Yeah,
ability to
like
overcome and like power
right.
through. Like you learn through adversity. You don't learn shit about yourself if you're not pushing yourself. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And to clarify, it's not uh like adversity happened to me. It's like sometimes like I did it to myself,
Oh yeah, I
and
mean, and yeah,
yeah, and then had to like come to Jesus, if you will, for lack of a better term, like and be like, okay, it's like yeah, I grew up privileged, but then I was broke throughout my 20s, and it's like, listen, bro, like you're an adult, like you're in your late 20s, you're broke, you're at your parents' house, like it's time to go. And so I think, yeah, like to be like the ability to go through that uh and then come out on the sunnier side of things. I hope that's what defines. Maybe that's aspirational definition, Like maybe we ask somebody else what they think defines us, and that would be a different answer, but that's what I think.
yeah, no, and that's fair. I mean, it's all like that's just self awareness. Like that's part of being a person is being like, okay, like I'm screwing this stuff up. You got to recognize negative patterns in yourself and like knock it the fuck off. And like if you don't, like that could be detrimental. And you got to do that, the cliches. You got to do it for yourself and not for somebody else and all that. But it's kind of true. Like you got to like figure shit out. Like I remember when I was sleeping in my car and like couch surfing. You remember that, dude? That was like that was how I
Yeah.
that was the beginning of being an adult for me. Like and I just didn't look back. So I mean like I worked like I remember I bought a laptop and was like half in tears one time because I was like I never thought I'd spend like 2 grand on something ever, like have enough extra cash because it and like so that's I think that's why we both have always been like kind of hustlers and I can be a workaholic because work is what got me out of stuff and gave me balance. But like self-awareness is huge. If you can't recognize where you're screwing up, you'll just keep doing the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Real Housewives. Um,
Facts.
yeah, but yeah, totally. That is exactly true. What you just said, and so I mean, and I think that is what might be lacking. And this could be an overgeneralization, but like I call them, it's called Gen Z, Gen Zoomers, the ones after millennials, is I feel like they might be lacking a little bit of grit, you know? It's like like the world sucks, and we're fuck this, instead of like guess what, this shit sucks, but it's like it's go time, like it's time to make shit happen, so I hope that's not like, maybe I'm wrong, but I hope that they get a little bit more grit.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that comes through adversity. So like we went through more. I mean, and not to be like, huh. I mean, old man huggy, go figure. But like, it's I'd say that in some ways we've gone through things differently than them. And there was like, nobody gave a shit if you were getting bullied when I was in school. That's for
Oh,
damn sure. And I can both say that and when I was younger, I was definitely a bully sometimes. So I'm not gonna deny that either. I could be an ass, and there was nobody who checked us. Like things were completely different, and I think and not
well,
obviously it's better that those things aren't happening and but what I am saying is that there was like a social climate in a way that it was like you kind of had to have some sort of like I guess different type of swagger or attitude in like a sense where it's like, well, like to want to prove people wrong in like a way that is like, oh, you don't think I can do this? Well, watch me do this shit. And I think we were all like that. Like, if
Not all. Oh, let me interject real quick. Okay,
well, not
you
all
were
of
one,
us.
you were one of the only black guys in that like school city, right?
Yeah, I
And
think
that
I
and
was
that
like point oh. I think I was like 0.6% of like a of like a
eh,
1% or something out of like
yeah,
the
not three fifths.
hundreds, almost 1,000 people we graduated with. Some shit.
Yeah, yeah, and then my shit was I was quote like deemed the gay dude from California, even even, even though I wasn't gay, and I was like, just like I was probably
You had
like maybe like
you had frosted tips, bro. You came in sixth grade, hot and heavy, frosted tips, Billabong shirts. It was
flip
Texas.
flop.
Yeah, we didn't know Billabong. Yeah, with flip flops. I was like, "What's reef? What's reef flip flops? What are
Yeah,
these?
yeah, they were reef. Yeah,
Where's your
yeah,
Massimo shirt? Where
awesome. But
where's your caffeine shirt, bro? What are you doing?"
no. But yeah, yeah. So like it was just so I had a like that for sure. Like I realized that the older dudes like we don't have to name them, and some of us have like become friends since. But in the grade above us, like they were like for sure bullying me. Like uh, I just never acknowledged it as bullying. I just thought like that just was the game. This is how you come up.
I mean, you
Um,
watch Varsity Blues and you're in like sixth grade and you're like, "This is real life," because you live in Texas and everyone's like, "This is the best movie that's ever made. James Vanderbeek's the best actor I've ever seen."
Fire that fucking pig skin.
And then Lance Harbor's gonna go to Florida State, and then he's gonna go pro. I was like, oh my gosh.
Worst part about that, baby, uh, the whipped cream bikini is like not very practical.
No, it's not. And I remember that was such a big deal. Like,
Huge.
oh, dude, that like the world almost exploded. The world almost
I,
exploded.
I mean, my dick did for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was definitely like, what? My mom was like, cover your eyes. So I
I was
remember,
like,
yeah,
well, nah, I'm into whipped cream. I'm sorry.
yeah, that was
Uh,
such a big deal. That was so, oh man, I totally forgot about that part. That's like the dumbest part too. And then you're like
well,
stuck.
Thomas, I mean, I don't know, but speaking of Anastasia, no, but whenever they're at the strip club and the teacher's the stripper.
Yeah, yeah.
First strip club I ever went to, I was 16, with again PJ
Okay.
and Rolls Royce, uh, and me and PJ go up to the VIP lounge, and we get private dances. He pays for them, and then what happens is at the end of my dance, I'm talking to the stripper as if she wants to talk to me. I just think like, of course, she wants to talk to me,
You're
because I'm
16. You're
cool.
16 and hot shit.
And I'm like, I'm different. I'm cooler than
I
all these
got puka
other.
shells on. I'm crushing
Right,
it
right.
right now.
But she's actually waiting for me to pay her, and I'm like, oh no, 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 my buddy's right over there. He paid for me when we got up here, and then actually, what turns out is he got his dance. His lady of the night asked him if he wanted another one, and to him he was like, of course, like why wouldn't I? But that just means you have to pay again. So then him paying like for me and him, actually all that money just went to his two dances, and so then so that I had not paid my dancer, who I thought was just talking to me, but she was a teacher, is what she told me.
Of
Uh,
course.
and then I refused to pay them, and we all got kicked out. Meanwhile, Rolls Royce Joyce is downstairs this whole time, didn't know we went up to the VIP lounge, and so he's pissed at us. And I just like at a principal was like, no, I'm not paying you. Like bouncers all around, just like an ignorant 16-year-old. Uh, and Rolls Royce ends up paying for it, and he was the only
Oh
one who
my
he was the
god.
only one who didn't get the lap dance.
Dude, that's like I said, you're a total you're such a vibe, man. You're such a vibe, man. I don't even
Like I don't even like strip clubs. Like I've been only like two or three, and like it's just not like that. That is not my vibe. Stripper anthems, my favorite genre of music. Strip clubs, I don't know. Unless it like again, we talked about it before. If it's like Houston, Atlanta, and like they're doing like wild shit, like that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
But
that's a whole like production.
Right, but most of them are like Harrah's Casino in New Orleans at 7 a.m. Just sad.
Yeah.
All right. Therapy question number two.
Great therapy session too, by
Y-
the way.
that's why it made me philosophical.
No, you're good. We're dropping bombs right now. This is gold.
Ooh,
This is
ooh,
cracking me
ooh,
up.
ooh. Okay, well, speaking of bombs, number two, is peace the only way to stop a war?
Is peace the only way to stop a war? I mean, I think that peace is something that that comes with time. That's something that you'd work towards if you're already in war. So I mean, it'd be more like do you know what I'm saying? Like you're already in. Oh, you're
So,
already. Oh, oh, okay. I was gonna say like you're already in like if you're in a war, right? Then there is no peace. But I would definitely say that to avoid war in general would be important, and that would be more like communication and like compromise and like figuring shit out and working through issues, as opposed to like because if you're already at war, how much peace? I mean, peace is the outcome, right? So you'd have to end the war to have peace, or peace would be a product of trying to stop it. That I mean, the way I view it, it's definitely you can't have peace is the outcome of war. I'm more if that even makes sense. So I mean,
well,
like a
uh,
peace is a part of the process. So if you have like communication and like people are able to compromise, you can avoid those things. So I mean, you could achieve peace where everyone's just like chilling and hanging out, and not being dicks to each other. But I mean, is peace
yeah.
the only way to stop a war unless like everyone dies in it? I mean, I don't know. Like I'm sure there's other ways to stop a war besides resulting in peace, but they're probably all like bad, right?
Well, I don't know. I've got a different take. So I think that what is more like deadly than like a strong military is an incompetent one. So appeasement, right? It's like people talk about that with World War II. It's like Never Chamberlain or whatever the fuck that asshole's name was. It's like because they didn't want to like go to war with Germany is why Germany was able to like invade Poland and then all this shit and like Holocaust happens. So, and it's kind of like a bully what we were talking about. Like, it's like you 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 check a bully by force, not by letting the bully be a bully.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like yeah, I mean, if you're pushed to a point, like there's going to be some sort of retaliation. Every action has a reaction, you know. But
Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire.
yeah, but I mean, people like whenever you think of it on like a world like World War II or something like that, like people's global interests and their own interests come before like others. So like not to like be on specific on any like any war, for example, like if it suits their best interest, they'll avoid it as much as possible. If they gain something by being in it or something, then we would join up a war, you know, or if they feel like they're forced or bullied into being in a war. But to you people are going to avoid conflict as much as possible. I think that
No,
no,
no, no.
I think that nowadays I feel like we try to avoid conflict as much as possible when it comes on like a global military scale. Like
No, no.
in developed countries, most developed countries, I don't think that like Australia is not going to war with people all of the time. I mean, Russia had a horrible military. Their military was garbage, and they've dumped like trillions of dollars into like beefing up their military. So I mean, some cultures put a big emphasis on having a military, as where others don't. In their budget, do you know what I'm saying? Like North.
Well, I get that, but first of all, Russia doesn't even know what $1 trillion is because they're broke. Second of all, Australia has been in every single war since the Revolutionary War that the United States has ever been in, period.
Well, yeah, but I mean, is that something that they've initiated or started themselves, or have they decided to back up an ally because they think it's in their best interest to ally with the United States as
But
opposed to being
they're the
neutral?
but they're the only country that's ever done that.
Well, okay, that's fair. They're also like
So
a,
you so,
they're
so
also
you,
kind
you
of like
pick
a
you
continent of
picked a bad
Texan.
example.
Okay, it's a bad example. It's like a continent of Texans, but I mean, it is. Australians are
No,
crazy.
I'd say Floridians.
Okay, that's fine. A good combination depends on where you are. It's a big continent. It's the largest.
Yeah,
It's one of the largest countries, and it's the smallest continent.
yeah. So that's tough on them. That's like it's like how you like like big dudes with a small dick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. I just don't know. Like, is peace the only way to stop a war? I mean, physical and like intimidation and having a massive army is going to keep people from fucking with you. So it's
true.
so just
I
going to the gym and getting bigger, you're gonna less people are gonna want to fight you, even if you talk shit because you're bigger than them, whether you can fight or not. You know, you just look big. Well, you know, a
well,
lot of guys like that.
I heard this. I listen to Wonky podcast, and this is the Council on Foreign Relations, and they actually had this discussion where is the fact that the United States has a military that we spend more money on it, 10 times more money than the next 10 countries combined, and
That's nuts.
seven of those countries are our allies. Uh, does that actually make us safer, or does it actually cause more like incentive? Because it's like, well, we're spending all this money, so we got to use it, right? Um, so that was the argument, and then somebody like the person who's making the argument that it makes us less safe having this much power. Uh, it sounded like a good argument until the next guy talked, and he goes, "Yeah, but that's not the world we fucking live in." Like you're talking about like in a vacuum. It's like there's bad actors and there's always going to be.
Oh yeah.
And so you have to like think about it that way. It's like in a perfect world that makes sense. Like if you have like a nuclear bomb,
Well, that's
you're
like
gonna
paranoia, though. That's like, like we both watched Succession. That's like, all right, well, we got to like buy up all of our competition so we're just so big that we can't fail and nobody will mess with us because we're that big and we're on that large of a scale. We just have to buy it, have to buy it. The Pierce deal, like they're all like, because he's
but
paranoid.
then
He's
but
paranoid
then
about the competition, so he wants to get
and then it
bigger.
causes more problems.
Yeah, so I mean that's just like paranoia to a certain extent. Like how big can we need to be bigger so that because we're worried that people are going to come mess with us all the time. Like I'm not saying that's our stance, but I mean in any other if there was some guy stockpiling a bunch of crazy stuff in his house, you'd be like that guy's paranoid.
True, but I think more of it's what Eisenhower talked about, like being worried about in his last speech before.
Oh, the
Uh,
military industrial complex.
I
Yeah.
think I think that's really what it is. It's like there's so much, and then if you watch the movie War Dogs,
Yeah.
there's just so much goddamn money, and like all these military government contracts, and then that leads to and like I don't like to be conspiratorial, but it's just for a fact that we've gotten into more shit. And when I say we, I mean the United States, because we global. But we've gotten into more shit because uh, there's a profitability to it. Like
Oh,
in some,
definitely.
and now I'm not saying that's always why, or and then there's consequences that come from that, like mentality. Then and so there's nuance involved. However, if you like just I don't know. Like,
No, I would say that it's fair to say that some strategic decisions are made for financial gain and with other people's financial gain and interests at heart from time to time. Not saying that they all are, and that's not conspiratorial to say. Whenever our vice president used to be like the chair of Halliburton, and then Halliburton gets like $60 quadrillion in government contracts.
former vice president.
Yeah, yeah, former vice president. I mean, I guess you could always call him vice president, but I mean,
No, I call him Dick.
yeah, okay. Well, Dick Cheney. But yeah, I mean, he was in charge of Halliburton, and then they got tons of government contracts and did like all the trucking and all of that crazy stuff and building houses and water and purification stations. And they got billions of dollars in like shortly after he took that role. It's like, come on. Like, that's so close to home. That's so close
Right,
to home. But like, I wouldn't
right.
believe you if you told me You didn't like you know everybody in the room. Get out of here. It's good old boys.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So yeah, I guess there's different motives for different shit, but uh, just in the general sense, I don't think it is realistic to say there's this utopian version of the world where peace is just automatic and is always like that we just haven't achieved it yet. I'd say that's never gonna happen.
I mean, New Zealand's pretty close, man.
But New Zealand,
They're
but
just so nice. Everyone's
I
just real
know,
nice.
but they don't. New Zealand doesn't exist without the United States military.
True.
It's like like China wouldn't have swooped them up already. Come on,
I don't know. They're really nice, man. They might leave them alone.
they're really nice, and China would just be like, yeah.
I'm just trying to be
Uh,
optimistic. This is such a dark conversation.
well, I'm just trying to say realistic. Like we're,
No, I
you
mean,
know,
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, there's like you said, there's always going to be bad actors. There's always people that are going to do or make moves for their own gain. I mean, we see it in our politics on like a local level, let alone like on our government, like our like
we were just talking about
Supreme Court or
bullies in
anything. Yeah,
school.
yeah.
Yeah,
It happens all over the place. So that's like it's inevitable that things are going to be messed up at some point
yeah. Like
in
look at
some
the
way, shape,
animal,
or form.
like Animal Kingdom. Like it's like like lions and will eat like the cubs of like their rival lions so that they're they can get their offspring. It's just like
Dude, that's rowdy.
it's like a survival of the fittest. I mean, it's just kind of like how shit works.
Yeah, sharks eat
Uh,
each other. So
yeah, but that's because I mean, I eat humans, but just talking about that.
I wouldn't say
Talk,
that.
no, I just meant like that pussy.
Oh Jesus.
I go down on her. I'll take care of that. Okay. Therapy question number 3. If you could choose just one thing to change about the world, Joseph, what would it be?
I've thought about this one. This is a deep one. Probably would try to reverse if I could change one thing. Oh man, that's tough too, because I can't be like if I could just do away with racism as a whole, that'd be tight. Like that'd be cool. And if I did that, like man, that'd be like free food everywhere for life. Like I'd be getting free soul food for life. But probably reverse a lot of these climate and just issues that we have, I guess. I don't know. Like that's so tough. That's so like that's such a tough thing because there's so many things wrong with the world that I'd like to fix. So to prioritize one over another is like
that's the purpose of the question.
yeah, it's like you can't like there's nothing that's more important than something else. 'Cause I could fix the environment or I could stop, people. I
No,
could
no, no, sir. One thing. Pick
well,
it.
no, I know. That's why I'm saying I can't prioritize.
Well, that integrity to the pod. Do it, dude.
I'd save the environment. I would reverse all the crazy messed up stuff that we've done and create balance on the planet again. Not for us, but for our kids, I guess. That's
Yeah.
that's impactful enough. I feel like that would also help a lot of other issues. Hunger issues, fresh water issues. There's lots of other things that saving the environment and fixing it. Not that I'm some big crunchy hippie. I don't make my own trail mix, but I am saying I like kombucha sometimes, and that would probably like it'd help. Hey, sometimes there's some good kombuchas out there. Not
Dude,
homemade stuff. When you got,
I went on a date recently.
of course you did.
Shorty was talking about kombucha hard seltzer, and then she left me that day at that bar for a 65-year-old man.
Damn. Well, I mean, I wouldn't drink hard kombucha, so I just mean like a regular kombucha if it's like not
You're
shitty.
triggering me.
But either way, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm making you think about the 65-year-old man who stole your bitch, but that's not the booch's problem. But I would say if you were to fix a lot of the environmental issues.
The beach's problem.
Yeah, if you fix a lot of the environmental issues, that could have a long-term lasting effect in a lot of other areas that would benefit a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I could change one thing about the world, what would it be? K-pop.
Careful, man. The stands will come for you, dude.
That's why I said it.
Don't do that, man. Don't be joking about no K-pop. I'm not trying to
That's why
get
I said it.
murked, dude. I don't want to get
That's
murked,
why
dude.
dude, Joey Rogan, Joey Bag of Donuts. I'm coming for you. I'm coming. Ooh, don't even talk to me about the Swifties. I'll never. Beehive up, beehive up. I'll never.
Dude, why are
I'm
you
not,
starting all these wars with all these people? What is the matter with you?
because
You're gonna get the
I need.
barbs. The barbs are gonna come after the barbs are gonna come out of the beehive. All sorts of stuff,
No, no,
dude.
no, 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 no. I wasn't talking shit about the Beehive.
I was
Don't get
like,
that
whoa,
twisted.
dude. I was like, hey, man, chill.
That's a line I will not cross.
So you would get rid of K-pop. That's really what you do?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
I think so. Right?
I mean, it's your
I thought
it's
that
your
was too.
it's your one magical wish to change the world.
Is that weird? I thought that would like I thought.
That would fix a
Uh,
lot of problems.
no, I just thought that was so obvious. I almost didn't say it.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't. I didn't know that. I didn't know you had such a vendetta with K-pop, but now I do. And you know what? I will make adjustments.
Well, you know what? They don't listen to this podcast in Korea yet, so maybe that's why I'm lashing out.
Or this is the first time they do, and that does not go well. So we'll see what
Or
happens.
or it goes really well.
Yeah, true.
Speaking of Korea, but not the one that we were talking about, we are moving on to our current affair topics. Joseph, first article.
Yes.
Jesus F baby. The article, Rolling Stone, title: Trump busted for hoarding Kim Jong Un, the supreme leader, dictator, doughboy of North Korea's love letters at Mar-a-Lago. What do you think?
Well, so I read the article, and there was stuff before. So I mean, like, yes, that's super weird that he's like keeping all of these notes, but they're like personal notes. I mean, it sounds like he tried to keep a couple souvenirs because he tried to keep a bunch of stuff.
Against
But
the law.
yeah, well, so that's really what's interesting. Like, now, is anything gonna come of this? Probably not. It's not a big deal. But everything you do when you like work in that capacity is like considered presidential documents. So if you scribble notes to yourself about like something or do anything remotely close to that, and you do it in like that capacity, that's considered notes, and like you can't destroy it. And he would like tear up notes, tear up paper, tear up letters, shred shit. So like whenever they passed a bunch of paperwork off to like the DOJ and some other people, it was like a lot of, or the archives, I'm sorry, the archives, it was like shredded paper that they scotch taped back together. So he didn't shred those, he took those, but he shredded a bunch of paper, took a bunch of weird stuff, bunch of like an Obama letter. You think I don't know why he has an Obama letter, but he has like an Obama letter supposedly. But he kept a bunch of this random stuff and got caught. So they confiscated it. They seized it, which is epically awesome. But that's just wild. Like it just shows that unlike, I mean, and not to be like,
It shows how unprepared he was for the office.
well, not just unprepared, but like how there's just like certain things that you do and don't do. And like you're trying to take stuff like, steal, it's like, and not stealing, like that's like petty stuff, but you know that's like a guy who always steals a pen every time out of your office.
Bro,
Hey,
Hillary Clinton's server. She had a private server, bro.
no, oh yeah, no, the hypocrisy is like deep, like Mariana's
Ah.
trench deep on this. But I mean,
She
it's
wasn't even the president.
yeah, but the practices, that's really what's interesting about it, is like the amount of paper shredding he was just doing in general and destroying what are presidential documents that are supposed to go to the archive, which I'm pretty sure they like tell him like, yo bro, like everything you write, like we kind of get if it's like presidential
Yeah.
related, and he still chose to destroy it or steal it. So you know,
Well, there's two things there. Yeah. So there's the Freedom of Information Act, and then like also like the National Archives. It's why we have like they were able to access like Nixon recording himself like
yeah,
just committing crimes like an idiot. However, so there's the National Archives, there's the Freedom of Information Act, But then there's also this thing. So like Barack and his boys, they went out to Saudi Arabia, like 2009, 10, like it was like early in his first term,
Yeah.
and his deputy national security advisor Ben Rhodes, and then also the spokesperson for the National Security Council, Tommy Vitor, where I listen to their podcast. Shout out Pod Save the World. They talked about how when they get to their hotel room, there's a suitcase on their bed, and they didn't know that that this happened to everybody. They just walk in their own hotel room, and then there's a suitcase. They open it, and it's just got like full of jewels and gold in it, and it was like they're like, "What the fuck?" And but like everybody that was on that trip with him got the same thing, and the shit's like worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there's this rule like where you can't take that as a gift. However, if you wanted to keep it, you just have to pay for it. So, like so basically they just like reported it like to whoever like is in charge of that like for the White House.
That's
And
so weird. I got this bag of jewels and I'd like to keep it, so let me purchase it, please.
no, they didn't purchase it. But like they didn't even realize that was like an option because it was like a year into they didn't even know the shit like would happen. But like they were like they would help Barack with like speeches, so they thought they were like getting bribed, and it was just like, nah, this is just how like the Saudis just run shit. They're like, yeah, bro, here's some jewels, take care of us on the back end. Um, However, our boy Mike Pompeo, who is the defamed failure Secretary of State under Trump, he got some ridiculous ass gift of it was like I think it was like a $5,000-$10,000 bottle of like whiskey from like Japan or some shit, and he he just took it and uh and then lied about taking it, and then like later on after he was out of office they like forced him to pay the 10,000 G's.
Epic.
But yeah, so there's laws, and it's all about like preventing corruption, and it sounds weird and shit, but the same thing with like these love letters. Okay, I wanted to get to this,
Yeah, that's weird. The love letters thing is weird.
but no, I want to get to this though, and maybe I'm spoiling it for us, but the sex tape between Kim Jong Un and Donald Trump, because I've been watching Pam and Tommy on Hulu. It's about Pamela Anderson and the celebrity
Yeah.
sex tape.
Yeah.
Kim Jong Un and Donald Trump sex tape, which we know exists. How much money do you think we could get for that?
Dude, if you had something like that, you would, I mean,
Oh, they talk,
TMZ would pay you a pretty penny for that.
no, 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 no.
Because if that
I'd buy,
exists,
I
what?
would buy TMZ if I had that. That's how much money we
Well,
get.
yeah, you'd be like, I want to be the chair. I want to be the chair and the majority shareholder. Because you don't want to
I
fire
would,
everybody. You just want to own it. You don't want to have to work at TMZ every day.
no, I would buy TMZ and then turn it into a parking lot. Like, um, no, but it exists. These dudes hooked up. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, and like, who writes love letters? I mean, this is like some notebook shit.
Yeah,
And
that's super weird.
I'm telling you, bro, we gotta get this. And our boy, Quick Draw Casanova, Mr. Sean, said he wanted to be a part of it, and I said, if you're a part of this, just make sure you eat a lot of asparagus and drink a lot of water beforehand, because you know how Trump likes to get down.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, it's weird that if you read the quote that he had, it's like, well, we talked and we were both tough with each other, and then we were mad, and then we were in love, and then we fell in love. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like we've been friends for a really long time, and I love you, man. But we've never fallen in love. Like what the fuck? Like I'm just like what the choice of words that he uses, and then he takes them, and apparently they are like these fawning letters that they've exchanged, and there's like multiple of them, and he stole them. I think they'd give them to you if you asked, dude. I don't think anybody wanted to keep that shit. You could
Or
have
like
just
at
like
least a copy.
yeah, like say, hey man, like I want to take this. And they'd be like, yeah, that shit's weird. Get it out of here. We're not going to tell anybody. Nobody needs to know this. We're not going to put it in the archives. Like, I think he just needed to let someone know he wanted to take some of his weird
No, no,
shit.
no, no, no. That has to be in the archives, bro. Come on.
No, well, I mean,
Like,
he probably took it because he didn't want it to be there so people didn't see it. Because who knows what the content of those letters actually are. So couldn't you file a Freedom of Information Act at some point once those are cataloged and collected and potentially read those Kim Jong-un love letters?
I actually think he's just beating off to like the words of Kim Jong Un. Like that, and there might be a dick pic involved. Who knows?
Dick pic through the snail mail.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, that's how it would get there.
yeah, allegedly they're good at hacking, but I feel, dude, this Kim Jong Un, like when he goes to like visit China, he has to ride a train for like 6 days, or like when he goes, I'm
Yeah, it's
not
like,
even
I think
kidding.
it's like 10 days, I think. It's like, but
Yeah,
it's like a
because
really long train ride.
they do not have a plane that can get him there, where he can, and there is no other like country on the way where he can stop and refuel.
Yeah, because everyone's like, no, dude,
Kim Jong, you ain't stopping here,
you can't, seats taken.
Jenny,
Yeah, and of course,
Jenny.
and then of course they're like, you can sit here if you want. Like, obviously, dude, that's
That's
crazy.
Trump. That's
Yeah,
Trump.
Trump. Yeah,
Okay, moving on. Um, so article number two. Um, back on our finance tip, our crypto tip. Article is from Fortune magazine. Crypto's new kingmaker. Now, article might be misleading because this is a female, but it's 2022. So gender conforming. I don't, whatever. She's a motherfucking kingmaker. Um, the subtitle is after co-leading three massive funds and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Andreessen Horowitz.
yeah,
Katie Hahn
yeah.
is raising $1 billion war chest and striking out on her own. Her new firm is launching into a Web3 world awash in competition, volatility, and just maybe unprecedented opportunity. And I would agree with all three of those adjectives, especially the volatility, but also the just maybe unprecedented. Did you read this article, Joseph?
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. Like her story was really interesting and how she even got started into it. And also the breakdown of the amount of money that people and like the amount that these different venture capital like groups own and how much money they've been investing. Like so I don't think anybody there's like some people that are up to like a little over a billion and there's like one group that seems to pretty much yeah, that Anderson Horowitz pretty much owns like or is venture capitals their venture capital groups different ones have like a shit ton of money invested in all this crypto stuff and she was involved in like open seas which I use she's Coinbase I mean so she is like branching off and doing her own thing and getting $1 billion of her own funding to do her own venture capital stuff. It's pretty interesting. Like she seems like a badass. This chick is the real deal.
Real
Um,
deal.
like it was
Seven,
rowdy.
only seven people work for her firm that so basically she went rogue. She's working for this VC firm and they just crushed. They got in on Bitcoin, Ethereum, OpenSeas, like early. Um, what I like about this most, and I was talking to my roommate about it, who's in the NFT game, uh, and I talked to a lot of people who are really into crypto, and they always talk about the decentralized, like part of it, right? And like the you don't need like the traditional funding. And it's like that sounds nice, but VC firms are gonna make the fucking money on whatever it is. War, like we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Or, it's like, yeah, the idea of crypto being decentralized is like kind of that utopia shit, but it's not, is it really the real world? It's gonna get, I mean, when Elon Musk can manipulate Dogecoin, that's a very, very, very small example of how this will also too be corrupted, or people with the money are going to find ways to make more money from it.
Yeah, I mean, seeing the amount of money that these venture capital firms are dumping into this stuff was crazy. So I was like, man, if this is decentralized and these guys are throwing around this amount of money, I don't know how long that's going to hold up, honestly, because this is some huge numbers. But it also made me like buy a bunch more stuff because I was like, damn, they're dumping a bunch of money. Oh, hell yeah. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm buying more right now. Let's go. Uh,
That's funny because so my roommate did too. I actually, and I guess I'll just have to say it, full disclosure, I emptied my Coinbase out.
dang.
Mr. Goody, not invested in crypto anymore.
Dang. Well, see, I was out and then I got back in, like I told you, but I bought a bunch of, like some Mana and Gala and, or Gala, however you want to just call it, Ethereum, when Ethereum was down to like 2.3 and 2.2. I bought a bunch more of that and now it's back. They're all back. It's back over 3 and everything's kind of bounced back. I mean, my
Well,
Gala's gone up. One day it went up like 60%, and the next day it went up like 40%. So some of they're starting to bounce back, but that's just what I do. I can't if it's so low that I can't, like, I'm like, I gotta buy it. Oh, I gotta
well,
buy it.
I just did this like today.
Oh, you did it today.
Yeah, so I wait, like it did bounce back, and I just cleared it because what I'm realizing is, um, I don't think this is the last dip for Ethereum and Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I got in way, way early on both and made a shit ton of money. And then right now, I feel like it's like a little bit back to like I don't think it's gonna go too far down from where it is right now, but I also don't think it's gonna go too far up in the like next 3, 4 months. Like it's like Bitcoin's like I thought Bitcoin might hit 100K in like December, like back in July. I thought that. It didn't. It got up to like 60 something, and I don't see the route where it gets to 60 something by March, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, but I mean, what I've been purchasing is I'm viewing as like long term investments. So if there's a dip, like I'm probably not gonna like back out. Like I'm buying it when it's low again, and I just plan on holding it and seeing. And like I said, I'm diversifying, so I might have some niche style Ethereum based coins that you can use in like Decentraland to purchase property or use to buy NFTs, buying some of the things that have more of a like, targeted specific purpose that are have high ceilings that are really low floors right now that I can hold on to for a while and view as long term investments. I mean, I bought a shit ton of Gala and it was 28 cents. So when it jumped to 50 cents, but I bought like 3 grand of it, that's a big jump in that because I'm buying it so low. So and there's also other ways if you buy like nodes or you decide you want to like mine, but nodes are pretty chill and they're like something you buy on your computer. You run it for 6 hours a day. If you're running like a Gala node right now, it might cost you like $28,000, but you'd make like $600 a day. You could only run it for 6 hours a day every day, but you can make about $400 to $600 every day just running your node and being a part of the blockchain with it. So it's really just like if I think you have to have a different perspective on it, so that if like some of those big ones I think are always going to do these dips, but there's still a couple little bottle rockets out there that might shoot up for you.
Well, no, I totally understand what you're saying, and that was the only reason why I got into Bitcoin and Ethereum in the first place was long term. However, right now, I feel like it's not, I'm not gonna miss anything. Like I'm going back in. I'm definitely buying Bitcoin and Ethereum again. Um, I just don't think I'm gonna be missing anything in the next couple of months by not being invested in it. And like I've all of it was house money that I had
Oh
left
yeah, yeah,
anyways.
yeah.
Like I've already like taken thousands and thousands of dollars of profit. And I'm like, you know what? Let me take this money and do something real quick with it, and then I'm gonna move it back in. Like, I mean, I'm interviewing right now with I guess I'll just keep it trill until it actually happens, but uh one of the biggest companies in the world. And so if I start working from them like for them and start getting like, some fatty ass paychecks, of course I'm going back in. I just to me it was just like I can, it went on the down. I didn't sell it when it went down. It bounced back up a little bit. It's at least three times more than when I bought in right now, and it was way more than that before.
Yeah.
I was like, let me just take the money out, hold it. But no, I'm not holding it. I'm actually doing other shit with it. Um, but and then I'll just get back in because I don't feel like it's going to be like that much different like 3 months from now, and I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think you might miss out on some like opportunities, but I don't think they're going to be so substantial. It's not like in 3 months, mana's going to go from the 350 or 375 it might be at like right now, like $3.75. Buy it if you don't have it. But if that shoots up to like $50, like you're not missing on anything super crazy because you could still get in 6 months from now when it's at $50. Do you know, like, and if it's still continuing to
Right.
grow, or you could get back into whatever you wanted, as long
Well,
as
like
you.
it was like the little Shiba dog in Dogecoin. Like what I was trying to buy Dogecoin when it was 7 cents, and I was like trying to find a wallet, to do it, and it took me like 2 hours, I think. Uh, and it was at 11 cents by the time I did it. That's the shit that it's like, okay, this is happening now. And then I sold all of it, like in the like high 50, 60 cent range or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But that was like a moment, right? Like Bitcoin's not a moment.
No, that
Ethereum's
was
not
yeah.
a moment. Like this shit is here to stay. So I don't feel bad about taking my money out right now because I think I can go make more money doing something else with it. Um, I'll just tell you, poker.
Well, I would just say don't miss out on. I'd say like if you could spread a little bit and plant some seeds and some things and do some research, see some things you like that you might be big, see big markets later. You could still catch some sort of Doge wave if that's what you're chasing. But that could also
Right.
be a good long term investment because those are Ethereum based tokens. Like Gala is a token that's used for like online gaming and blockchain gaming. That's like V-Bucks for Fortnite, but for the blockchain. So if you
But
think,
that's all I've ever invested in other than Ethereum and Bitcoin is Ethereum based tokens. Like I had Polygon, Polkadot, and then the only other like and then I had Cardano, and I kind of realized Cardano, while viable as a but it's to me it's like really the only one that actually functions as a currency, you know? Uh, I just didn't understand. I started to realize I don't understand why this would be worth it more than $1, $2, right?
yeah,
Like it makes sense that it's that amount, like a stable coin is, except for it's not a stable coin, but people use it for transactions, and it's like, okay, this is what it is. That there's not going to be a lot of volatility with it. Like you're not going to hit a home run with Cardano. I mean, it's like a stable place to put your money if you're worried about inflation and stuff. Like, I mean, not stable, but like a hedge.
yeah,
So I got out of that, but then Polygon and Polkadot both Ethereum based, but then the other one was Atom or Cosmos. Atom is the symbol, and that's a challenge to Ethereum. And so I like Ethereum like a lot. I feel like it's gonna be here forever. Like I feel like it could create a second internet. Like think about that. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, like that's insane. Like, I mean, how
Tell
much
me
is the
more,
internet?
Morpheus.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying,
No, I know.
like, uh, like, the, how much is the internet worth? You, it's literally priceless. It's like God, you know? Like, if you just like own the internet, you have more money than every country combined.
Like Al Gore.
Well,
Did he always say he helped invent the
I,
internet?
th
I'm just.
okay, first of all, he gets way too much shit about that. He literally did help fund like DARPA to get the internet created. However, it just wasn't the best political statement to say.
Yeah, I mean,
But
when you. I'm just
he
saying.
100% was involved.
Yeah, he threw money down. I'll give it. Yes. Okay.
No, he was like actually like because like our military, the United States military, and this like the organization DARPA
Yeah, I know
within the
DARPA.
military.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones who created it, but he was the one who was like pushing for it.
Okay.
So he kind of like did
My bad,
what,
Al.
and no, well, his bad because he said he invented it and people shitted on him. But but then his opponent George W. Bush, when he was asked like what the internet was, he said a series of tubes. So like who are you voting for? Okay, we have other articles. We are over an hour. Do you want to keep going?
Yeah, I'm chill with it, man. I'm chilling.
Okay, so why Wall Street loves the metaverse? Because I don't. But the idea of a 3D immersive internet was more fantasy than fact. Now big tech is going all in. Goldman Sachs thinks it's an $8 trillion opportunity. Here's why early investors believe the metaverse could be business's next big thing. Well, first of all, the metaverse is already here. We're on the fucking metaverse right now. Discord, Twitch, Zoom. Okay. Peloton is a metaverse.
Yeah.
Fortnite's a metaverse. The Apple Store is a metaverse. The App Store or whatever. So, I, are these like old like are these Wall Street bros who don't know what the fuck they're talking about? I know you said that the reason why you're invested in the stuff you're invested in
It's because these boomers are
is
finding out
because you
about like
believe.
VR headsets, and they're like, "Man, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen." The metaverse is cool, but it's like what, like a bunch of it's like Wii characters. I mean, I can understand you can like go shopping in the metaverse. You could go to Walmart. You could do stuff like that. So I feel like it's enabling people to just be lazier and not have to leave their house. I can like virtual leave my house. It's like a whole like it's like taking video games to like an unhealthy level, maybe. Like it's
But it's
cool, but like it's NFTs and it's having your own house and your own car and like I guess it's just a new market and it's something that's expansive. You can buy property in the metaverse. You
but
can
it's
buy.
not new. That's
No,
what
it's not new. No, it's not new. I think boomers
okay.
are finding out about it.
I'm a little excited right now. So I invested in Roblox again, another metaverse,
Yes.
because my super successful friend, shout out Trina, um, we were at the Malibu Pier. She has a kid. Told me she's like, you know what you need to get in? Roblox. I had no fucking clue what it was. Still really don't. I invested when it was at like 78, $80, and I realized like I felt like I kind of missed the surge. But then I was like hearing more and more about it. Like it was something like 80% of kids like under the age of 15 have been on Roblox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this like I might have just got like insider information, except for she doesn't work for the company. She has a kid. Then this shit, all it did was go from I think it was like 80, it was 80 something when I got it. All this shit was like just slowly going down, down, down. And your boy had to get a root canal and didn't really want to pay out of pocket. I mean, I had insurance, but and I was like, I've got like a few shares of Roblox. It's done nothing. Let me sell it. Get like get the tax break, um, and then I don't have to like spend any money on this root canal. Then my boy, who listens to our podcast, heard me talk about Roblox. He invested in it, the metaverse, and this shit shoots up to like 100 and something crazy dollars. Like, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's trying to punk me, and I'm like, punk me? I'm the one. He's like, you just don't get it. I'm like, I don't get it. I'm the one who invested in it. You listened to me on the podcast, and that's why you invested in it. Well, as I just brought up this article and you were talking, I just went to go check what their stock price is. $64. Go fuck yourself, Figure A, and
well,
go fuck yourself, Roblox.
well, Roblox has been around for a really long time, and it's more
No,
about.
I know.
And it's like people create that you can create games, you can create your own stuff. So it gives people freedom and they can do that. There's like you can invest and you can some of these things, man, there's all sorts of crazy tripped out metaverses where there's like I can't remember what it's called. It's this weird hotel and there's like actual money involved and there's like Ponzi schemes and people taking money. It's like
That
weird.
doesn't that doesn't sound like the blockchain, bro. I thought it was
No, it's not. It's
decentralized.
not. It's not like
Like
the
there's
blockchain.
Ponzi schemes.
This is
No,
like
I
this is
know.
like like what yeah like what's it called? It's playing like currency in the game. So like but you can like buy stock in the game in these companies, and it's like the weirdest shit ever. Oh, it's hotel something. I can't remember what it is. I'll remember it later, and it's gonna make me mad.
No, we won't because it will be gone. Um, uh,
But no, some of these things have existed for
Hotel
like
Rwanda.
no, some of these things have existed for like 12, 15 years,
Well, that's my point. It's like
20
I guess
years.
like this is what Facebook does. They've never invented shit. Like Zuckerberg stole the idea from the Winklevoss twins. Then they stole stories. They stole the news feed. They stole IG Reel from like from TikTok. It's like all they're good at acquiring shit and stealing shit. And they didn't invent the metaverse. They didn't even have a metaverse. They just changed their company name to Meta, and it's like, guess what? It already exists, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like like an upgraded Wii menu, like when you used to make your Wii avatar. Like if I want, like, yeah, I'm
What does?
well,
What
like the Facebook
Oculus?
like the Facebook metaverse when they show like Mark Zuckerberg in the metaverse and he's like, "Hey, I'm
Like
in the
that
metaverse." Yeah, like that. I'm like that. It doesn't look as good as I'd like it to. I see GTA
that was
lobbies
like
that look better.
that was like the presentation of what it's going to look like. That shit, right? Like you don't actually that doesn't exist, does it?
No, like no. There's like there is like VR chat and stuff like that. If you're on Oculus, that's like the same thing where you can go in, you pick an avatar, you can go walk around and talk. But like the presentations that they've shown of what it's going to look like looks way more cartoonish than I would like it. Like if I'm going to
Yeah.
be in Meta's metaverse or whatever the fuck we're going to call it, I'd much rather it be something that looks like hyper realistic, not like cartoon character bullshit like a Wii menu. Like on Wii you make your little avatar guy and for Wii boxing or whatever and it all looked the
Right.
same generic. Like it looked kind of like an updated version of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the presentation was sad
Yeah.
if it wasn't so hilarious. Uh, okay. I do want to round this out. I'm gonna skip, but so there was an article how Taco Bell became the top franchise in the world, and it's true. I know when I say that out loud, but it is like from think about franchises and like franchisees. For how much it costs you to start up a Taco Bell as a franchisee, number one profit that you get out of any other franchise is what I believe that article said, correct?
Yeah, basically they've been number one 2 years in a row, actually. So it's 2 years in a row they've been the number one company. What blew my mind is that like Taco Bell Corporation, I think they said owns like 90% of all of their locations. So all of the locations that exist, there's like independent franchisees or some people like they're doing their own thing, so they're very like fluid with their business practices and let people stay within like the what they say the guardrails, but they're not handcuffed, so they can like have one with a stage that does live music or have a bar or do kind of be whatever they want. But I think it said something like 90% of their like majority owned by the corporations. So like Taco Bell corporate rakes in like 90%. So they're not like selling the licensing to somebody else, except for
Yeah.
10% of the time. I think it said that's crazy. That's
Well,
nuts.
what I didn't see, but I think this is true. It's owned by this parent company called Yum Brands, and you remember we had the Kentucky Hut.
Yeah, Kentucky it's still here. It's still there.
Yeah, yeah. So Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut are all owned by the same company, and uh, and I believe like they own like some like they're well, you can only get Pepsi at a Taco Bell, just like you can only get Coca-Cola at a McDonald's. So that might just be like a contract. But Yum Brands, I think like owns like maybe Doritos, if I'm like they're maybe a challenger to Frito-Lay. They own a bunch of shit. They took over China with Kentucky Fried Chicken,
True.
and yeah, they're just really like innovative. But if you want to you want to like become a franchise owner, maybe Taco Bell.
Yeah, right.
Br-
Let's
Bring
go.
back the Mexican pizza, motherfuckers.
Let's go, bro.
So this last one, Boys in the Bubble. I only put this on here because I know that you have a special lady friend that might be involved in something like this, and I have a special roommate that might be involved. I don't have much to say about it. I was gonna let you go if you had anything to say.
I mean, you know,
So let me read the just to the audience. Startups are supposed to specialize, but OpenSeas, which is an NFT platform, founders thrive by building a wide open market for creating and trading all manner of NFTs, whether art, music, or gaming. They left out podcasts, motherfuckers. Now that they're centimillionaires, whatever the fuck that is, and poised to become billionaires, they have other worries: competitors, fraudsters, and the next crash. All right, now go ahead.
well, I mean, it sounds like these are a bunch of guys that from that Kingmaker article, this they gave them a bunch of money to to start Open Seas, because that's what one of the big things that her venture capital
That's true.
funded. So they gave them a shit ton of money. I mean, Open Seas is cool. NFTs, I don't own any. I know some people who make them, mint them, sell them, own them, trade them. It's really interesting. I mean, I have an OpenSeas account that's hooked up to a wallet. I just haven't seen anything that I'm like, oh, I want to drop 16 grand on that. I think that's a good idea.
But you know somebody who
I know
was
people
on
who have like a lot. I know some
no,
friends
no,
who
no,
have
like
like,
that sold some for good money.
oh yes, no, I know some people who've like, and they get offers. So essentially, it's like an open market. You create your own content. Maybe you like are part of a community, because that's really what NFTs are about. Normally, if you have an NFT, you have like a community with it that has like a Discord, because the value really comes from the people in your community and wanting to buy it and purchase it and own it. So you can make the most beautiful
Just
and yeah, but you
just
get,
like art. It's like the art community.
yeah, no, exactly. But like you have to cultivate your own community, you know? So if you want like celebrities in your community, so it gives your other NFTs more worth. Like, oh, I have a crypto punk. Well, T-Pain has two of them, so mine's worth more because he has one. But if you could get in the business of making them and minting them and selling them, that's where it's at. Because you post it up and then people make you an offer, and you can either accept, deny, or it's like an open auction for NFTs, and you find communities. It's worth getting and just kind of browsing through and looking at it, getting familiarized with the app. It's really easy to set up, and it's cool to like kind of go and explore and check out other people's stuff. Some of it I don't get it, where I'm like, this is a lame ass picture. But some of them are really, really cool, and there's some like really talented people. They're not all like pixelated, weird,
Yeah.
original
Uh,
Nintendo characters. Some of them are like really, really pretty. And if you're artistic, man, you could make an NFT. And I was telling my friend who does art, like, you could do an NFT and then make like an actual picture of it, and you could like package stuff. You could do so many. It's such a cool way to go about doing it and including digital art. It makes it super unique that you can do normal things and add that with it, if that makes sense. Make a painting, somebody buys the original, and they also get an NFT version of it. But not a bad
well,
idea.
Yeah, and the NFT like just market in general is way past art. Like um it goes back to like we're talking about the metaverse, like where you get skins that you can NFT. It goes to like sponsorships, like you like have people like music, like there's challenges to Spotify where like the artists are getting a recurring revenue on their streams every time because it's on the blockchain. That's that, so non-fungible token, it goes on the blockchain, so into the ledger. So anytime that somebody buys your art, like for the broadest term ever, and then gets resold, the original person gets a piece of that, depending on the smart contract. Now, Joseph knows somebody who, and I'll just keep it like as vague as possible because I don't know, if they want to be like
Yeah,
shouted
yeah,
out.
yeah, let's keep it vague.
Yeah, yeah. So he knows somebody who created an NFT and sold it for buku bucks. Um, However, so I'm in this most toxic group text ever. It's 16 of us. It's our fantasy football league. And what do you do in fantasy football? You talk shit. And this shit's been going on for 11 years. Somebody gave me a death threat recently, and we had to apologize, but it was like serious. Um, uh, and whenever I mention that the person that Joseph knows, like that sold their NFT for a crazy amount of money, like I could tell all these guys that they're like the best people in the world, give them the best compliment. They'd be like, "Go fuck yourself." Like that's how toxic it is there. I told them about that, and they're like, "Well, that's pretty cool, but whoever the fuck bought that is a fucking idiot." So, so they couldn't talk shit about the creator of the NFT, but the purchaser there. And I think that's what you were trying to say, Joseph. It's like some of this, it's like, what the fuck? But if you're the one who's like creating the NFTs or
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, like,
facilitating them, then that's a good business.
oh yeah, well, I mean, like you said, like, if you sell something and that gets resold and resold, you get a percentage of that for infinity, so that like goes directly to the creator of that NFT or what, so that's something that's really cool with those smart contracts. So that's what people don't understand. It's not like, oh, I'll sell you this and okay, you give me $50 and that's it. If that guy owns it and then he sells it for 5 times as much 10 years later, like you still get a cut of that for infinity, because it's like, and
Exactly.
it's an original, it's the only that exists because it's like put on the blockchain and it's like unique. And that's where you'll see maybe they make like 5 editions of one NFT, and then there's one that's like a hyper unique. It's like it's like some sneakerhead shit. Like it's cool.
That's exactly what I was going
It's
to
like
describe it.
it's like
Yeah,
that's the only way I can describe the culture. Is it's way more like,
Supreme,
yeah, it's way
Supreme,
not even,
Jordans.
no,
No,
because
like Jordans.
yeah, but that's sneakerhead culture. So I mean, like it's
No, I
awesome
agree. I agree.
because they drop. It's like, oh man, like Chief Keef's got like all hella NFTs, and I'm in his NFT community on Discord, and it's hilarious. But he's got all these super unique NFTs because like Chief Keef's always like mad deep and trying to do all sorts of metaverse stuff. There's lots of people that are building up their own communities, having purchasing their own digital art, and then like building this stuff up, because really the community is what gives it value. It's like, yeah, like you said, art, the market is what gives it value, not.
Well, this is how I describe it. It's like, and the reason why I brought up Supreme. It's like it's fast fashion. It creates urgency and an exclusivity. Like we had mentioned exclusivity in the beginning. Like it's like we're going to drop 50 of these, like Zara does, and you better get it
Zara.
because like yeah, I mean they're the OGs of the fast fashion, but
Yeah.
it's like of this design, and if you come back in 2 weeks, it's not there anymore because they have a new design, right? And so that's how it gets like it like it creates urgency where it's like, oh, I got to get this now, otherwise it's gone. But the thing with the NFT, like that is more than that. So like he was like you were saying, like you could drop 5 of these, instead of just one. But that whoever drops that, they get the recurring revenue if it gets resold. And so like basically like you take traditional art to an art house, and you give like Sotheby's or whatever, whoever's the auction house, 30%, 40% of whatever you make off of it as an artist, and that's it. You don't ever make any more money. NFTs, you sell that, and then they take it to Sotheby's to resell it, like 10, 15 years later when this shit is like appreciated. That artist is gonna get whatever the smart contract deal was, 20%, 10%, 30% of that revenue from that deal. Because and so that is the difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like you're not. Yeah, like you said, like you're not going to be paying some accident injury lawyer like cut fee of like 35% for us to auction it for you. Like you're cutting out the middleman, and you're like it's like continued revenue. Because if you sell a piece of art like that and you sell it for 10 grand, you're like, all right, cool. So now if I do another one, that one's going to be worth, and like, so it's like all about like not all about the next one once you reach a certain level, but your reputation is because of the art that you sell. So you hope that each piece you can continue to make more and more off of it because you're only getting paid once for each piece of art. Like, you know what I'm
Like,
saying?
oh, well, that's real art, but what
Yeah,
I'm
like
saying,
real art. Yeah, with NFTs,
when
like
it's
you're
FT,
you're
you
avoiding
become
that. Yeah.
you're becoming the auction house.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to be involved. Like you sold it. You don't even know the person who bought it, and then they go and sell it. Well, that's like how actors get royalty checks like sent to their house, like Seinfeld. He just gets checks like because the shit's like syndicated. Just it's just like, oh, I got a check from like a episode I made 20 years ago because it played like 10 times on TBS, like last week.
And Netflix wants to keep us on there, so I guess we'll renew them for 5 years. So there's a check from Netflix too. Yeah,
Right,
dude,
right.
I would live one. If I could just get 1 year of Seinfeld's royalty checks, that'd be a changed man.
But what's funny is like some people get royalty checks and it'll be like 70 cents.
Oh yeah, like some people like get like royalty checks for their like small like speaking role and like
Right.
Home Alone 3 like mailman number 2, and he's like every month he gets like like $1.76. He's like, God damn it, like I'd
I
be
mean,
so pissed.
I would take it. Like it's like, dude, I spent what like an hour like on the movie set, and it was like 30 years ago, and like to me, like I feel comforted by that. Like that's like the original NFT, but really that's just the union, the Screen Actors Guild that's just
Yeah,
holding it down.
holding it down.
All right, well let's round this out with some positivity. I mean, a little bit longer of a podcast, a little bit all over the place, but
I liked it. It
eh,
was fun. It was good. It wasn't
what
bad.
do you mean? It wasn't bad. It was fucking great. Um, but I just, I'm really appreciative that we're moving this along. We're live streaming it now on Discord, on YouTube, on Twitch. We got the shit. Our last episode's up on Spotify, Apple, Google, and like 6 other platforms. And I feel like a dick that I don't shout them out, um, because I've never actually been on them. I want to see just real quick before I let everybody go. Uh, okay. Also, Breaker, Castbox, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and this one I've actually heard of, Stitcher.
Okay.
So literally, Talk Shit or Get Off the Pod is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 platforms, not including Twitch, YouTube, and Discord. So that is 12. So check that out. Screen Players is still in the mix. We're not trying to like bullshit y'all. We just want to make sure that when we come out the gates, we're coming out strong. Like Sea Biscuit, or what was that one that like just crushed it like 5 years ago? American Pharaoh or something.
Yeah, American Pharaoh.
Yeah, that's my boy or girl. Or not, or they. But but thank you, Joseph. Sorry I was a little bit late. You know, your boys got
Nah,
shit
dude, you
going.
gotta take, you gotta go on all these dates. If you don't go on these dates, I don't get to hear these ridiculous stories that you tell me. So it's good. It's worth it. If you're a
Uh,
little late and you got a story, like I'm okay with it, you know?
yeah, well, yeah, I got like a better one too. I just don't want to put her on blast because it would tell like where she works, and it has something to do with what we were just talking about. But like,
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
we're still, we gotta hold off on that. We can't blow up our spots just yet. We can't do that
No, no, no,
just
no,
yet.
no, no, no. Yeah. Shout out Old Man Huggy's channel. I'm looking at the Discord stream, so I don't know if there's anybody actually watching
Yeah,
this.
we've got 6 in right now. We've had, anywhere from 6 to 7 to 8. So we appreciate everybody who comes by. We're going to be streaming Talk Shit or Get Off the Pod weekly. If you're just catching here, it's normally an hour. We were just like having a blast. But we always have, some therapy questions we go over that make us think a little bit, challenge us. Then we have, a good 5 to 6 topics that will touch articles that we'll kind of give an overview of and our opinions. And then honestly, we've known each other for so long, we just like bullshit and kind of go on tangents, which is also nice because they're relevant to the topic. Or they start out that way, and then we might lose sight, but we always get back on course.
True,
So
and it's supposed to like so the current events are supposed to be based in like money or finance or business, but sometimes we don't give a shit. Uh,
big
but
facts.
yeah, screen players would be a little bit more focused. But it is what it is. Maybe we start a dating pod where I just talk about all the weird ass dates I go on.
That would be good. We could just tell cringe stories, but that's something we gotta wait, man. We can't get so we can't blow up our spots yet. But we
Well,
got
no, I know, but I just went on a date with a girl who has a blog, and she was gonna blog about how this was the first date she ever went on, where I brought a dog with me.
okay, but that's not a bad. That's a power move.
No,
Bring.
no, no. She left me for the 65-year-old dude,
Her. Oh, okay.
and now she's gonna write about it in her blog, and
Oh, well, then we should just like
let
read
the
that.
whole world know
We should
that.
read that live and do a reaction. You should read that to me on live, and I will gladly give you my thoughts on it. That's amazing. What a
I was like,
bitch.
I said we could go back to my pad, not in a creepy way. Just it's because it was so close. I was like, and we could just like like chill out, drink. She goes, either we're staying or I'm going home, and she lives close. And then she goes to the bathroom, comes out. She goes, you know what? I was vibing with this guy. I think I'm gonna stay here. And this guy is 65, bald British dude.
Hey, man. He probably drives like an Aston Martin or something like that, or a really nice Mini Cooper. That's
Ah,
brutal. That's brutal, man. But you live in
kombucha hard seltzers, bitch.
you live in Santa Monica, dude. Like, what do you expect?
Well,
Sorry,
guess
man.
what? Guess
That's what
what?
it
Guess what?
sounds like to me. That's what Calif.
Not to make it racial, African American.
Really? I
Jamaican.
Jamaican. You got burned by a Jamaican blogger for a 65-year-old British man. That's amazing. That's
Okay,
amazing.
that's it. That's
That's
a mic drop.
that's
That's a
so
mic drop.
good.
I'm out. I'm out.
We appreciate y'all stopping by. Y'all have a good time. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys next week. Hit the like,
Later.
subscribe, y'all.
Goody.
Later.
Oh shit.